Welcome back, everybody. We're on part 2 of episode 115, and it's time for the hot tags. What went on this week in wrestling? Let's talk about Jake the Snake Roberts and his comments against the Ultimate Warrior, and then Ultimate Warrior taking shots back, and Jake the Snake apologizes, and Ultimate Warrior's, what was it, like his PR guy or something like that, just kind of calls Jake Roberts out in turn. It's just like, oh, you're fucking caught in your lies, you asshole, or whatever. Just, oh man, Warrior has so many enemies, doesn't he? Kevin Nash had that whole fight. He has his whole problems with Hulk Hogan. Now Jake Roberts. What is going on with this? What do you think?
Would it be awesome is that the Hall of Fame ceremony was just set up to beat the piss out of Ultimate Warrior on live TV?
Like their video package is all shit that like Jake Roberts was saying, and all the things that Vince McMahon has been saying for the past couple of years when they weren't in good spirits with.
They just take clips of the self-destruction of Ultimate Warrior,
Yeah.
and then
I like that DVD. I know it's a hit piece, but I really do like it.
when he comes out, just have Kevin Nash and Hogan beat the piss out of him.
No, you got to be careful with that. Nash might tortoise quad.
So what do you guys think about the Jake Roberts and Warrior thing? Is that going to hurt any other chances? Obviously not necessarily Ultimate Warriors by now, but is Jake Roberts digging a little bit of a ditch for himself, or is this just one of those things that it happens and people blow over and it doesn't really matter?
It's just a Twitter beef. You get them all the time. Fucking Del Rio and Batista's had a Twitter beef. It's just is how social media is. Ultimate Warrior put him in his place, rightfully so, and Jake apologized. I don't think anything else is going to come from it. Jake did what was right and covered his ass, and given his past, I think people are just going to accept it. So I don't think much is going to come from it.
Jester, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it's gonna be that big of a deal. Like he said, the Twitter thing, just it happens all the time. I don't see anything happening out of it.
Sean, tagging you in.
Christ, I always have Twitter beef with people, so
You're
I don't
always
like the
sending
news.
Ultimate Warrior fuck you messages. Drew?
Well, as a co-host here on Smark Out Moment, I just wanted to mention something about this little thing we're talking about right now. First off, how many appearances has Ultimate Warrior had on Raw besides for the promo that they had for him being inducted into the Hall of Fame? Exactly
on Raw?
none. He has not been on Raw. At least, what's his face? Jake the Snake. Yeah, that guy. At least he has. So,
Whoa,
in my
whoa.
opinion-
Hold on. Are you counting the '90s era Raw? Because he did come back in what '96, I believe, and he did make Raw appearances then.
Hey, Miguel, shut up. Anyways, I'm just kidding.
You're fact checking, bro.
I meant this year, Miguel.
Okay, recently. Okay, you should have been more specific. Recently. Okay.
Miguel, come on. Seriously.
Freaking Mexican.
Bush League. But anyway, but yeah, this shouldn't affect anything about Jake the Snake. Jake the Snake is the man, as they say. Oh yeah.
Miguel, any thoughts on this?
It just makes me wonder what would have happened if they had something like Twitter around in the '80s, and you had '80s era Jake feuding with '80s era Warrior on Twitter. That would have been hilarious. But yeah, this is just. It just is what it is. It's Twitter. You know, that's really all you can say about any sort of wrestler beefs on Twitter.
And joining us on the call right now is Mike Payton. Payton, what do you think about the Jake Roberts and Ultimate Warrior situation?
Well, good evening, everybody. Apologize for my tardiness. I had to serve all the fine people of West Point hot dogs. Yeah, it's a glamorous lifestyle I live. As far as Jake the Snake and this whole situation here, my biggest concern is I hope this doesn't mean he's been hitting the sauce again and then going on Twitter afterwards, because that would be quite a depressing story. Other than that, I mean, it's what wrestlers do. I mean, they get into arguments with each other and they probably forget about it by the next time they see each other in person. I don't think this is going to be anything that develops any further. I think they're just trying to get some more headlines out of their time while they're still big in people's minds, between Warrior getting in the Hall of Fame and Jake being on Old School Raw.
What if this is all building up to Jake the Snake Roberts on Twitter versus Ryback? Who can have the stupidest comments and make more of an ass of themselves?
Stupid.
And Kurt Angle wins.
I was hacked.
Hunico is apparently unmasked by Alberto Del Rio on Main Event, and Sin Cara is talking about how he's officially done with the company, and this is Mystico Sin Cara instead of Hunico Sin Cara, and that he owns the rights to the Sin Cara name. So if that's the case, then Sin Cara is not going to be in WWE anymore. They're going to either repackage Hunico for something else, maybe just keep the Hunico name, maybe go back to the way that he had before, where he wasn't on TV anymore. I don't know what they're planning on doing, but if that's true, that he owns the rights to the Sin Cara name, then WWE can't have Sin Cara anymore, no matter who plays the part. So let's go around again. Wego, what do you think? Is this good, bad?
I don't think he has the rights to the name. I'm pretty confident that WWE does from everything I've read. Is this something Sin Cara said, or?
Yeah, he cut an interview with somebody, and when they said something about it, he was like, "Oh, well, if you know how to have like the right lawyers and stuff, then that's why you get to keep your name." Like,
why even be Sin Cara?
It's fucking Sin Cara. He probably botched reading the contract. But shit, even if WWE has lost the rights to the name, so fucking what? It's no big deal. You can just slap Hunico in a different mask. Sin Cara isn't over anymore. Might sell a whole bunch of merchandise, but any fucking masked wrestler will do, other than Ricardo Rodriguez.
Drew, what do you think?
We don't have to worry about Botch Cara in that case, and anyone trying to pretend to be Botch Cara. So I think it's a plus if you really think about it.
Miguel?
I think I smell the next big signing for TNA coming up.
Always got to talk about TNA.
Did he even have money to sign people?
I'll give him like $20. Can you just come here? And he's like, all right, fine. I don't have a job otherwise.
Yeah, we'll give you a t-shirt.
I don't know if any Mexican promotions are going to take him. They're pretty strict when it comes to guys just up and leaving. I don't know if what's his name, wherever he was before, because I believe
CMLL, he's burnt those bridges.
Yeah. I think he said he might try AAA, but, who knows? That could be a possibility, but you know what? If it wasn't for the fact that they were broke, knowing the company, I would not actually put it past Dixie to throw a couple bucks out, but I guarantee whatever they do throw at him is going to be an insult. So I was just saying that in jest, but that's unfortunate because I really think if they'd have done it right, they could have made something out of Sin Cara, but you know what? It is what it is.
He's going to move on to collegeGarageSales.com instead. Take DiBiase's spot. Jester, what do you think?
I don't even know in what world he could own the rights to that name. Isn't that like a character they made up when he signed there? So if that's the case, I don't see how he owns the Sin Cara trademark. But, even if he does, who cares? I don't even remember Sin Cara ever being over, so I don't think anyone will give a shit if he's gone. It's like if Heath Slater got released tomorrow. Who gives a crap?
Not even the people who do the lighting.
Right.
They're out of a job.
The
people who make red gels. They're going to be out of work.
Sin Cara's light people who were hired for that reason are now on the unemployment line. Thanks, Obama.
Sean, what do you think?
I don't particularly care. You should have stuck to playing Uno.
And Peyton?
My biggest concern about this whole story is how on earth could Sin Cara possibly own this name? I know that's something that's nearly impossible for anybody wrestling in the WWE these days to do unless the name is actually their own personal name. And even then, they usually get some weird spelling or something of it so that WWE can keep the rights to it. And if this was a case where he was going to be able to keep his name, why become Sin Cara anyway? Why not just hold the Mystico name, which is a cooler name and also already has a lot of clout behind it?
Mystico is already taken by someone else. CMLL own that, and they've given it to another person since Sin Cara left.
Oh, wow, he just makes a habit of that. Well, the other thing is if they knew that he owned this name to begin with, unless they forgot, then why did they keep trying to push the character with another person under the mask?
It's actually happened before. There is one wrestler I know of that actually did manage to copyright his wrestling name through over WWE.
Are you talking about Warrior?
No. I believe Val Venus actually owns the rights to his own name because WWE forgot to copyright it, and so he did. So he actually owns the rights to his own name, but they're on such good terms that
the big hoo-ha that was made bringing this guy in, I'm sure they're not going to make a slip-up like that. Not that they haven't made other slip-ups. But where we are now, if he's going and he's gone, I think the best possible thing that could happen for Hunico is to not be Sin Cara, because Sin Cara has basically become a parody of a masked wrestler. He's not someone that anyone's going to get strung behind. I don't think it's going to sell a whole lot of masks. All people do is make their botch car jokes. People make fun of the lights. People make fun of pretty much everything involving the character. Hunico is a really talented guy. I think if they want to put a little bit of money behind him and make him into something special, they can do it. I think this will be the best thing for everybody involved except for the original Hunico. And you know what? He's made lots of money throughout his life, and he's been burning bridges left and right, so I don't think he has anyone to blame but himself.
You know what it will sell a whole lot of, though? Penis t-shirts.
I see.
Another hot tag here. NBC wants to have the physical Hall of Fame location in the Universal Studios Park in Orlando, and one of the reasons why is because they want to try to make that a bargaining chip to keep Raw and SmackDown in their lineup, which is pretty smart, I think. And with the network coming up, they're probably panicking about that. So I think not only is that kind of a cool idea that the Hall of Fame could be there, but it's a smart business play on NBC's move, and if WWE goes for it, then that'd be pretty awesome. And I hope that it would happen pretty soon, because, fuck, I want to go and see it. Wago?
Sorry, I missed that.
The NBC Hall of Fame Orlando Universal Studios thing, what do you think?
I don't care.
Not a big fan?
No.
Oh, that was disappointing. Drew?
Does
Oh my
anybody-
God! Abandoned tag! Abandoned tag!
What in the hell? Yeah. Does anybody have anything to say about this?
No.
Wait, did you
I
say
didn't know
Orlando Jordan is going into the Hall of Fame?
No. I didn't hear.
Well, then I
That's
can
my-
understand if nobody gave a shit.
Mango, I didn't hear you say my name. Someone said something. Then okay, so is it my turn to speak?
Yes, it is.
Oh.
If you think you can host the show.
Well, as the co-host of tonight's episode of Raw, and hopefully, wait, Raw.
Of Raw?
That sucks.
Fucking
That was your
box.
last strike. Anyway, what do you
Um,
think about the Hall of Fame thing going in Universal Studios?
You know what? Universal Studios, they cut their tags with TNA. Tired of those tits and ass to get some of that WWE stuff. So, good for Universal. And you know what? I give this a good Drew White verified hashtag.
Moving on quickly, Jester, what do you think?
Justin? Who the hell's Justin?
All right, that's your strike now.
Jester.
Mango.
I
He
said
said
Jester.
Jester. He didn't say Justin. I think it's cool that they're gonna make a physical Hall of Fame, and it's smart that they had put it in Orlando because it's like a really good tourist attraction. So if they want to attract people to the Hall of Fame location, then why not Universal Studios? So,
Now, Miguel,
Good
you
choice.
live in Florida, right?
Yes, I do.
So would this be something that would, you'd jump right on it and go check it out almost immediately, or do you not really give a shit either?
No, I actually would. If I had enough money to actually go to Universal Studios, that'd be a big draw for me. And we could always use more tourist attractions here, to kind of boost up business. I think this is great, and I think this really shows how much WWE is getting out of this whole NBC Universal deal and why it's so much more fruitful for them to stay within that network. There was always people talking about how they might go over back to Spike, or they might sign with another network consortium. But I mean, they're getting so much out of this NBC Universal deal that I can't see them signing with anybody else. So I think this is actually really good, and it really fits in with the fact that they've got the Performance Center down there and a bunch of other things. I'm all for it. I'm excited.
Sean?
It is what it is. Ric Flair's gonna wrestle Goofy.
Peyton?
No, Goofy's Disney, isn't he? Shit.
SpongeBob. Just say SpongeBob.
Oh gosh, this is way past due. There should have been a physical Hall of Fame like 15 years ago. So this is about time if this is truly happening. I'm a little upset to hear that it's not in WWE country, which is my hometown area here. If they had put it, probably not in Connecticut, I would say more in the New York area. And even though they've already had failed chances at making high-profile locations in New York City before, they don't have to do it in the heart of Times Square. You could even do it in in Poughkeepsie. Hell, do it in Poughkeepsie. They have a lot of history in that town. That'd be perfect for me. But of course, it's not money-wise very smart to put it in a location like that. It'd be very smart to put it in a place where there's already tons of people walking around and spending money, and a place like that is Universal Studios. I went to Universal Studios almost every year as a youngin'. During the winter, during break from school, we would go down there, visit my grandparents, and always take a trip over to Universal Studios. So I have a lot of fond memories there. I love that place, and I think it would be the perfect spot for a Wrestling Hall of Fame, however they want to do it there. And I also think that it's really cool that WWE is cementing the presence for themselves in Florida between this and the Performance Center. I don't think there's going to be any room for any other companies down there. Just saying.
And let me just say this: expect at one point TNA to storm the WWE Hall of Fame, like they did when WWE did their Universal tapings at one point.
Oh gosh.
I guarantee you, you're gonna see the American Wolves. You're gonna see who else is the? Can they throw there? Robbie E. Let's see who else. You got to throw the main eventer. So Magnus.
Who are all these people?
What's TNA?
What's funny though is they can't afford a tank to do what WWE did with WCW, so they're just gonna have like paper cardboard cutouts of a tank.
Do you know
They're
those
gonna have
toy-
little action figures on a toy tank.
No,
They
no.
just, like have a
do you know
background.
those cars that you like pedal?
Yeah, it's gonna be a rickshaw. It's just gonna be. They're gonna have Abyss pulling it. It's just gonna be them.
Their
Two
new
people in the
sponsor is
back.
Kawasaki Ninjas.
Pow pow power wheels.
One last hot tag that we have. Kane hangs up on an interviewer after they call him Isaac Yankem. Immediately afterwards says that they need to reschedule for another time. Holy shit. He did not have a sense of humor about that whatsoever.
He's keeping it kayfabe, is what it is.
So pretty much we should invite him on and call him Isaac Yankem to see if he leaves, right?
Wego, what do you think? Does DDS stand for don't do show, or was this all justified?
It wasn't justified. I mean, it was a lighthearted joke. If they had have kept badgering him, like, after going laughed it off and then went, no, but seriously, are you Isaac Yankem? I don't understand him getting pissed off, but he didn't roll with the punches, and I'm just going to assume he was in character, or because everything I've seen of Kane outside of WWE, like whatever videos he's in, he seems like a genuinely nice guy. So either he was just in a mood that day, or he was in character. I don't know what to think of it otherwise.
He just came back from the dentist, and he's like, man, the last thing I want is to just deal with anything more about dentists. I want to get that right out of my mind. They're like, hey, remember when you were a dentist? He's like, fuck! So- Drew, what do you think?
I thought this was the greatest thing I've ever listened to in my life when I first heard it. Yeah, man, it was. I thought it was funny. You know, it was probably rude. It is rude, but God, just the way the people who were doing the show, they're like, seriously, and shows, and Kim was just like, yeah. I thought that was the funniest thing ever. You know, he's not going to be rescheduled anytime soon, unfortunately. So. I hope Isaac Yankem, will come out of retirement and maybe have a match with Kane down the line. Hopefully.
They get Festus to be in there, just like fake Kane.
Fake
Actually-
Kane and fake Diesel face each other.
Actually, I bet that's TNA's next big signing, Isaac Yankem. Rumor has it. So yeah, go Isaac Yankem.
Was this on Scoops?
No, I was on wrestling
Wrestling
content. Yes.
Beat me to it.
John?
Yeah. Kane. Taking the playbook out of Sean's playbook. Whatever the
Taking
saying
the
is. I don't
playbook-
fucking know. I'd be
Take the
drinking. Leave me
playbook out
alone.
of your playbook.
Was it an Untitled playbook?
Cool shit.
Miguel?
It kind of reminds me of a couple years ago when they, I don't remember what radio show it was, but there was a radio show that had Mickey James on back when she was in WWE, and they ambushed her with some of her old softcore stuff she did earlier, and the interview ended like immediately after that. But in terms of
Can't do
this,
that with Kane.
yeah, well, yeah, obviously. It's just Kane knowing what's best for business, and Vince does not want people to remember Isaac Yankem. That was a mistake that he just wants to be like, all right, that never happened. That was just a kind of, let's erase that from the books. And Kane's just kind of following that rhetoric. It could be a situation where he just doesn't want people to, he doesn't want to be brought up about it, like some actors have those roles that they do early in their career that they don't want to be reminded of. Maybe Isaac Yankem is just that for Kane, It's like when you mention that character from Fast Times at Ridgemont High to Sean Penn, he just won't even acknowledge it. There are just certain roles that people just want to forget.
I just remembered, why are you packing fudge, Tom Cruise?
Jester?
You don't fuck with the devil's favorite demon.
Well
That's it.
spoken, sir.
That's it.
And Peyton, round us out.
This is a tough situation because I really see both sides. I do think Kane lost his cool a little bit too soon. It was just one quick little quip, and if they had kept going at it long and longer, completely 100% justified. Some other factors that I have to take in consideration is Kane is playing a different character that he's ever done before, and he is kind of playing someone who would get a little more timid and annoyed at a comment like that. But Kane also isn't someone to typically follow the old school mentality of keeping your character 100% of the time. I mean, he played the big red monster, yet if you talk to him in any interviews outside, he was always a genuinely very kind fellow and also very intelligent. Of course, he's a very active libertarian. So this really kind of confuses me. As I said, Kane's always come off as a really cool guy. So for him to have a bad attitude is not normal for him. The more research I've done about these radio guys, they don't seem like pros. Seems like they do this type of heckling to a lot of people. So maybe Kane knew going into this that these guys were likely to be a problem. And once he saw they were making jokes off the first line, he was just like, yep, yeah, I know where this is going. This is done. I'm out of here. Because I believe on that very same clip I was listening to of this whole thing going down, the guy's like, wow, that's got to be the fastest one we ever did. I mean, maybe Rob Zombie or someone else, some other name they brought in there. And if it was Rob Zombie's another guy, sure, his image might be kind of scary, but he's a pretty genuinely cool dude, and he's not going to do something like that if there wasn't some type of reason. So I think there's a lot of factors going into this, and a lot of people are looking at that pure 10 seconds and vilifying Kane on it. I think he had his reasons, and honestly, it's not like he cursed at them or blew them up. He just hung up on them, and a lot of the ways they deserved it. So
he was very polite about it too.
Yeah, we're gonna have to reschedule this, guys. Yeah, bye. He could have who knows what he could have told him.
All right, well, that's going to round out the hot tags. We're going to take a little bit of a break, and then we're going to come back and start knocking out all of our predictions for the Royal Rumble.